I kind of lean towards more of that firm, hey, you got to be back in the office.
I'm not surprised.
Right. I also lean a little bit to the it's okay to have the flexibility. And I think for me, it's a very simple answer, right? Performance is what I measure things against, which is if you're performing, great. But part of your performance for me is how you're showing up within the culture and the team and the participation within the community. So there's a responsibility you have. And for me, it's a little bit like this. We're all adults. You make your decision. One, if you're performing a task and you're delivering on targets and expectations and milestones, fantastic, depending on what your role is. But part of your performance as well is how you show up within the family, that community, right? The relationships that you create, the intimacy. We know part of creating trust, and I know you talk about things like consistency, transparency, and authenticity. I would throw in words like intimacy. Like there's got to be some social, intimate sort of connection there as well, which helps with trust, which we need to participate with each other, right?
But if
So,
people were able to deliver on that, Greg, on the Witz utopia of intimacy and connection,
right.
and they didn't do it face to face in the office, or they weren't able to, or they chose not to, and you support them. I mean, I guess the question is, do you think that could still happen?
I know many people that what you've just described were hired or did the hiring that never met these people face to face, and these people are killing it, right? These team members or these leaders are killing it within their role. But I can guarantee the day you go out for lunch and have some drinks, and the day you get the team together, something else is going to click, right?
100%.
You're
There
going to
is a magic for sure
or
when, as
yep,
you say, you are face to face, you're breaking bread or having a drink. There's no doubt,
right.
and nothing can beat that. My only point is I've heard from people, colleagues from other sectors, other companies. I've read a lot, and again, it's this whole yin and yang, the balance of technology. There's no doubt there's been benefits, but
Yeah.
people, I think, cast, sort of too much blame on the technology for the reason that either their team isn't gelling, their team isn't performing, they're having a difficult time. I mean,
Bullshit. I agree with that. Like that's complete BS, right? The technology isn't the barrier. The technology is part of the tool that allows connection to happen. I'm on
exactly.
the same page. I just want to remind people, specifically more of the sort of introverted personalities that have been um, more accepting of it's okay to be remote. I think sometimes this is where, back to mental health awareness and mental health, it's important we pull people back into some social connection. We're human beings. We're primitive. We need to connect. We need to shake hands. We need to hug. We need to feel uncomfortable in the meeting on, oh, how am I going to say this to you right now because you're sitting
Yeah.
there right now, right?
Yeah.
Like we need these things. And I think if we could use this last year as a launching pad to evolve to be more effective as leaders, because we can now, once again, operate and lead and ensure people's success. I think once upon a time, if you were remote, it was like you were a little isolated. Now those more remote positions are not isolated in that
Right.
sense, right? So there's more
Because a
of a
lot more people are also remote, so you're
right,
even less isolated. But
absolutely.
look, I think you're right, Greg, in that there is no doubt that as difficult that this has been, there have been positives. A, B, there have been lessons and insights everybody can take away from their experience with this professionally and personally. The question is, will they, and to what extent, and will they focus on the positives? Those are three questions everybody has to answer for themselves because everybody experienced the same event, if you will, albeit for sure at different intensities.
Yep.
But the fact remains that we all had insights, we all had experiences, and we all have something to draw from. And the question is, are you going to draw from it to put things forward, make your life stronger, make your work relations stronger, and make your performance better? Or are you going to keep saying, well, this Zoom fatigue and Teams fatigue, and how am I going to do this? And how am I going to, I mean, the
Yeah.
world has changed. So this is really a large change management sort of experiment that happened that we didn't, sign up for, but here it is. And so the question is, what are you going to do about it? And look, like any other change, lots of people opt out and they say, this isn't for me. So we'll just have to see.